Like most plant parents, I'll go through my plant collection almost every day, if not every hour of the day if I have the chance. And it's always exciting to see that some of the plants have produced babies. Sometimes you just want to leave them alone, let them grow up a little bit. But there are times that they're growing so well and they really need their own space. So these are the babies that I need to separate from their parents and kick them out and get them their own homes. So let's look at some plants. First is this variegated whalefin, which I saved from a dumpster exactly 6 months ago in January of this year. And it was looking really sad and really dried up. The tip is totally dry and it has some cracks on the leaf blade, which is not going to go away, and some marks on it as well. But other than that, it's a very beautiful and quite a big plant. I think this is about at least 2 feet, but this is really slow growing. Until about a month ago, I noticed there was a tiny growth that popped out. I'll put a photo here, end of June, and within this about 1 month, today is the beginning of August, so it's slightly more than a month, it has grown so much. This is such a beautiful baby whalefin. It's an exact replica of the big one, and currently it's already about, I would say, 20 cm. Let's bring this to the operating table. Alright, let's get this whalefin out of this current pot. So I guess somebody was moving out of my condo and they actually left this at the dumpster. I guess they can't take care of it anymore. So this is not fully buried. You can see there are many roots that are coming out on the surface. So this is a good time for me to repot it as well, just to loosen out the soil. Alright. So the potting medium is pretty organic, quite dense, with some perlite and lacquer. I can see that the roots are pretty healthy. So these are all the roots. There's plenty of roots. Yeah, no rot inside, so I'm really happy. I've reminded myself not to underwater this plant, which I have the tendency to do so with snake plants. Look at this. Alright, this is the baby. It's not quite baby anymore. And look at this chunk at the base. So this seems to be connected to the original plant. Oh, but there are no roots here. So how am I supposed to separate this? Maybe I got to cut a little bit further up. Let me try to figure out. I'm going to show you most of the roots are coming from this part of the whole structure. And there are totally no roots here that are nearer to this new plant. So I don't think I can cut off this new plant with any good roots for it to grow independently. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to cut this off. I'm just going to repot this, give it a bigger pot so it has space to grow. So I think that is a better idea. Let me try to find a pot that is big enough. Alright, so I found this pot, which is definitely bigger than the existing one. This is, I think, about 25 cm across compared to this, which I think is about 20. And this is a glazed pot. And since this whalefin is pretty big, this will be a very stable pot. I'm going to recycle the potting medium since it has been doing well in this mix. But obviously it's not enough. I'm going to top it up with more cocoa coir and some of my aeroid mix. This drainage hole is pretty big, so I'm going to block it with a pebble that I found. So I'm going to add in some fresh potting medium just to mix it up. Okay, let's put this baby right back in. So I'm going to bring in some of the new cocoa coir. Alright, so this whalefin is repotted. So even though I've not achieved my original intention of separating this new baby plant, but at least I've given it a much bigger home. So hopefully this will give it ample space to grow. Oh yes, I'm going to get some nice pebbles to top dress this. I think it'll look really nice. Okay, I'm going to put these pebbles on top just to dress it up a little bit. I was thinking of smaller pebbles, but I think this will do the trick for now. Okay, next on the list is this stunning alocasia cuprea red secret with its stunning purple color, both on the front as well as the backs of the leaves. Look at this gorgeous color, hence the name Red Secret. So this is a newcomer. I think I have it only for about 2 weeks. I got it from a supermarket nearby. You wouldn't believe this. This is only $8.80. So when I first saw it, I just had to bring this home. So this has 5 leaves, but unfortunately, some of the leaves are dying off, like this one. I think it is trying to acclimatize to my conditions, but I'm not worried because this is unfurling a new leaf. And even at a great price, it has produced baby plants. Look at this new leaf. This urgently needs a repot. It's very root bound, and I'm not exactly thrilled with the potting medium, so this needs to be changed. Not only for its beautiful color, but also these are very interesting looking leaves. It kind of reminds me of some alien life form with abs. So it's a really interesting looking plant. This is a more mature leaf. Not as purple, it's more bronzy, but the newer leaves will be more purple. Oh, I actually see a comb here. A new plant will grow out of this comb, so I'm just going to put this in a potting medium or sphagnum moss. So hopefully I can find more combs. Another one just on the surface of the pot. So I'm going to squeeze this pot till the plant comes out easily. I'm glad it's in this very soft nursery pot. Wow, look at the roots picking out from the drainage holes. It's not coming out because I think the roots here are entangled. I may need to cut them off, unfortunately. It's extremely root bound. Look at this beautiful mess. So now I've got to untangle all this and remove this baby plantlet. So it's currently in this very peaty potting medium, like what most nurseries will put them in. Alright, I've removed this baby one. There are some root breakage, but it's inevitable. But it's okay because there's still plenty of healthy roots. Okay, so this is the root ball, which is pretty massive. And this is the baby one. So let me pot out the parent plant first. But before that, I'm going to cut off these 2 dying leaves. So it's in this pot, which is about 8 cm across, and I'm going to give you a much bigger one. I think this is about 15 cm. This is a self-watering pot with slits by the side, so I don't have to worry about over-watering. And this is the base of the planter. You can actually just, fix it. So for the potting medium, I'm going to use something that's a little bit more water retentive. I don't want this alocasia to dry out because it likes to be kept moist. But I still want to use something that is also well draining. This is my aeroid mix with bark, perlite and pumice. And I'm going to mix it with this cocoa coir. So I'm going to put some at the base of the pot. And I'm going to put the alocasia in. This root is so long, so I'm just going to twirl it into the pot. I want to make sure that the plant is fully and properly buried. I'm going to water this, but before that I am going to pot up the baby one first. I'm going to remove 2 of the leaves. This one which is obviously dead and this one which is dying. removing the excess soil. So actually I can separate them into 3 little plants, but I don't want to have too many pots of them. I'm just going to pot them up together. So I'm going to use this small pot, square pot. This is about maybe 8 cm. I could have recycled this, but I do not want any pests, if any, to be transferred over. So yeah, everything is new. Alright, and the babies are given its own home. This is looking so cute. I think the leaves are greener when they are young. As they mature, the leaves will turn purple. Let me check out if there are any more combs in the potting medium. Nope, no more. So I have a total of 6 combs. This is the highest I found in an allocation. Well, this one is actually quite big. So what you're supposed to do is to scrape off the skin, the external part, and this will help them to sprout. But I'm too lazy to do that, so I'm just going to put them directly into the potting medium. Alright, so I've placed the combs in this small little pot with some potting medium, mainly cocoa peat. And I'm going to wet this, but not too much. Just keep it moist. Hope this works. Alright, and finally the last plant which has produced babies. This is my Christmas Carol Aloe. It may not be the correct ID, but this was what was sold to me as. But when I search online, it looks more like the DZ Aloe. But whatever this is certainly very beautiful. I'm not really a succulent or cactus kind of guy, but this is really gorgeous. It's very stiff. The leaves are really stiff, and it has these orange trimmings along the edges. So this makes it a really interesting looking plant, and it's quite pricky as well, so got to be careful not to be poked by the leaves. And yes, it has produced some babies at the base. In fact, there are 2. This one, which is slightly bigger, the smaller one somewhere at the back. I don't think you can see. Yeah, over here, this one. So I'm going to remove these 2 little babies from the parent plant. This is pretty slow growing. I have this for almost 3 years or 2 years plus, and it's definitely grown. I think it was a much smaller specimen. I will put a photo up here. The original one was a really cheap plant. I got it for like $5. I used a pulp before and I removed that. I gave it to somebody, I can't remember who, when I moved. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm just going to remove the babies, put this big one back into the pot, into the original pot. Alright, let me get a small spoon to loosen this. The potting medium is really chunky. This is a succulent mix. I've augmented it with some horticultural charcoal. Seems to be working fine. I try not to overwater this because yeah, it's an aloe. But that being said, this potting medium is really loose. Water based on your conditions. Oh, I think I need to water it more frequently because the roots are so dry. Okay, note to self, please water this more frequently. And the lower leaves have dried up as well. Let me remove them. Upon closer look, I think I can only remove one of the babies, the bigger one, because this has its own roots. Not much, but at least there's some roots. But the smaller one, I think it's really hard to cut it because of the way it has grown. It's still very much attached to the main plant, even though it has this long root coming by the side. So no place for me to cut it. Just let me remove the bigger baby. Do I need to cut or can I just remove it? Oh, I don't have to cut. It just comes off by itself. Ta-da! Alright, so this is the one, so cute. Look at this, it's an exact replica of the parent. So I'm just going to put this up. I'm going to use this little cute planter. I'm not sure, is this ceramic with a hole. This is only about 5 cm, 6 cm, 6 cm or something. Yeah, it's small. Alright, let me pop back the main plant. Oh, the potting medium is really dry. Let me remove all the dried up roots. Well, I can assume that just because this is a succulent that it needs less water. Okay, let's go back home. Remove one last leaf. It's also dried up. So it's going back home with one less baby. Because of the size of the pot, it's really hard to water this aloe. I have to water around it to make sure that it gets enough. Alright, so I've repotted the main plant back to its original pot. I'm going to give it some water as well. Meanwhile, I'm going to pot up this little baby. So I'm going to use my DIY succulent mix, which comprises small pebbles as well as leca. And I'm going to place some bigger pieces of pumice at the bottom. In it goes. Alright, how adorable is this? Another baby plant separated from its parent. It's time for them to be independent. And I really like this color and shape of this planter. Alright, you know what? I'm going to remove those rocks because I just realized that these are too big and too heavy, so they may actually prevent any new growth, any new pups from coming out, so it's not really ideal. I can replace them with smaller pebbles if I want. Alright, so I've completed the plant task for today. Remove all the babies and give them their own homes. Except for the wheelfin that has to stay with the parent plant a little bit longer. And I'm really excited with these combs that I've found from the copria. And look at this. Yeah, these are starting to show. So beautiful. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you do, consider subscribing to my channel and also like my videos. It will help me tremendously. Stay safe. I will see you guys again in the next video. And remember to show your plants some love.